Now, a recent survey revealed 44% of all Britons resorted to retail therapy in lockdown. Oh, yeah.
I think I'm
100%.
like that.
Well, not 44%, 100%. Do you know what I mean? But for our next guest, a few harmless shopping sprees turned into an addiction. Natalie Reeves Billing spent a whopping £20,000 in lockdown. And after turning a corner, she reveals us why she's determined to go on the straight and narrow and put her family's financial future first. Welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks for owning up.
Oh, thank you so much.
Did you get that online?
I did.
Imagine if she'd have said, no, I just picked this up.
You look lovely.
So listen, how did this start? You've
much.
always loved shopping, I suppose.
I avoid shopping usually because I can't trust myself. If I go in there, I'm going to buy everything. I can't stick to the plan. And so usually I go seasonally to the shops and just have a sort of sporadic splurge. So I guess I'm a spree shopper. And
then when you spree shop, do you cull as well? Do you get rid of stuff at home or do you hoard?
Hoard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? The more space you have, the more things you get to fill it.
Yeah.
So did this all happen during lockdown, 2020?
Yeah.
Tell us what you were doing, because I know you've got your own business, haven't you?
Yeah. I think I can only say that it was I was so overwhelmed by the homeschooling and the new business, which just started in February. And so it was all kind of pressure, and you're worried about the future. And the only bit of my life that felt normal at the time was the ability to go online and shop for things. That kind of made sense. It felt like I was still in the real world a little bit. So I guess I see it now, looking back at it, as a sort of indicator of where I was mentally.
Yeah.
And when the delivery drivers used to come to your house, you actually knew them, their name and their families?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they used to say, you know, basically they should bring a bed in and move in. And I'd be making private deals with them as well. Could you just take that around the back?
I was going to say, yeah, you'd be like, come on, I don't...
Yeah, because I was wondering who's looking out the window, you know. So in case, like, oh, what's she buying today?
There again.
You know, and then it became more anxiety rather than at first it was a thrill. It was like, yeah, buying something. And then you'd see Amazon trundling down the driveway and you'd feel... Because you'd know
so
that...
you wouldn't get the hit from getting it. It would be more... It would, like, trigger anxiety. God, that's really...
So why didn't you just, like, buy things and put it into, like, the basket but not, like, go through the transaction? So that's the buzz?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Later on, I realised the cooling off period, you can do it to yourself, and that's what I did. So later on, I thought, you know what, if I like that and I really want it, I'm still going to want it in 3 days' time, and often you just forget about it, and that's one of the ways that I got around it this year.
So what sort of things were you buying?
Oh, it was an eclectic mix, put it that way. I go, oh, Evan, how? I could just do with a metal detector, you know. So I got a metal detector and I started doing that. Got the tool bag then.
What did you want that for? You just thought, I need...
Well, I found a Viking burial site in the lockdown, so I thought, yeah, I'll just, you know, have a go at that.
But then... To be fair,
it's a good idea.
Hang on, you found a Viking burial...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and so from there, though, it's not just the
I mean, to be fair, you're pretty vindicated by, by getting a metal detector if you've had a Viking burial site.
But you get one for your friend, don't you?
But just to go back to your business, this is interesting. You've got an education business, Build a Book. So the idea is you promote creativity and literacy within children. If the schools are all in lockdown, then I guess that must have triggered anxiety because you wouldn't, you know, where's your business? What are you going to do?
That was true. But how does it work online? I mean, you're coming straight into a business and you've got an idea of how you're going to visit schools, how it's going to roll out with the schools. I've spent years planning this, and once you do it, the world closes down.
Right.
And I thought, how is that going to work online? And everybody else who already had online sites were ahead of the game. So there was a lot of anxiety.
It's almost like, you know, when you finish a hard day and you just go, do you know, I'm going to make myself a little drink. You have a gin and tonic, and you don't need many, but you have that first one, you just go, that just calms me down. That's what I do.
Similar?
Is that it feels like there's kind of similarity there where you go, do you know, I've had a really stressful day. I'll just go online and buy something.
Yeah.
And then before you... Have you got an addictive personality? Does this happen before?
Yeah, to lots of things.
Does it manifest itself...
Food,
I don't want to ask you, like, too personal. Does it manifest itself in any other ways? Like...
Yeah, I mean, I guess that I do easily get into something like hobbies, but they're very much fads, so I'll move on to something else. I like to collect things, that's the thing. If I get into the idea of having a spring theme, suddenly I've got to have all the flowers, I've got to have artificial flowers, I've got to have chickens, and I've got to, you know...
Well, let's talk about your house, because your house is literally... You've redecorated the whole of the house.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through some of these pictures? Is that the jungle room or the forest room?
That's my writing den, because I thought, you know, it's not enough to just have a desk that you work at.
Yeah.
I want to be immersed in something, so I thought, OK, so I'll bring the forest indoors, you know, And so I just started getting a bit obsessed with things like artificial flowers and ornaments and mural artists and, you know, different furnishings, hammocks and beanbags, candles, mood things.
And what about your husband? What does he think of it all?
Oh, he just, you know what, bless him. He is long-suffering, but he... he doesn't say a word, but the look says everything.
No, you've not gone into debt, though, at all. This is all your own money.
I'm terrified of debt, and that's the only saving grace. But one of the things that did worry me when I got near Christmas was I'd started to think, maybe if I just transfer my ISAs over to just, you know, beef up my personal account so I can't...
Transfer your ISAs over?
Yeah. So, you know, you're looking at it and you start thinking, oh, if I just move that, it'll help me.
It's good that was the warning sign.
Yeah.
So how'd you turn it round? Because you're not there anymore.
Well,
right? You're not there anymore?
No.
I have to see the shipping container in your garden, by the way. Please show me that.
Is it there?
So why did you buy a shipping container then?
Oh, well, I used to be in shipping. I've been entrepreneurial in my life.
So I've got a couple hanging around.
Hey, have you got a shipping container lying about?
You live in a park.
You know a guy who knows a guy? Yeah, and you're able to get one. So you just keep some stuff in there, right?
Yeah, well, what it was originally was just clear out space so we can use the other rooms that were full of crap.
Yeah.
But now what we ended up doing was filling those spaces with stuff as well. So we just ended up, you know, filling up the space with other things. So
absolutely.
So Natalie, how did you turn this round? Did someone stage an intervention, or did you just have a word with yourself, or when was the moment?
I think one of the things was opening up to my friend. So I wrote an article about it, and my friend said, you know what, I kind of went through something similar, and I'm really glad that you said that, because I felt a lot of shame and anxiety and guilt, and it's given me the sort of confidence to go and say to my husband or my friends, you know, this is going on in my life. So from there, just talking about it, being open about it, and having friends that can notice the signs in me has been useful.
So was there a moment where you went online and went, I'm not going to buy that today?
Yes.
Like what was, you know, how did you get to that?
That's a lot of money. It's 20 grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's £20,000.
You don't realise it goes that way. When you say it like that, it shocks me to hear it back.
Really?
But because it's drip-fed, I mean, if Amazon said to you, now you have to transfer £2,000 over to us in advance for this month's expenditure, you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't do it. You'd feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
But because it's drip-fed out of your account, you just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to look at mine. I love a little shop online.
Yeah.
Little
is the operative word, right? Little shop online is fine.
Little, honestly, it's absolutely fascinating story. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you're okay then.
And thank you for being so honest as well.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for having me on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalie.